So I'm reading a book, Running with Sherman. It cost me €28 decent. Very expensive. This is the guy who wrote Born to Run, Christopher McDougall. Um, he's talking about donkeys and how they race each other and stuff like that. Now, it might seem like a bit of a silly purchase, but then again, there's so few running books in the shops these days. Sometimes you just settle for anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's not like soccer where you get 150 books, or even like JA rugby. They get way more in Ireland anyway. So, now I agree with what this guy is saying. For personally, I think the first 100 pages or so are a bit boring. Um, but it does seem to get more interesting later on when first of all they find the donkey called Sherman and they try to get him back to health. A little bit boring, a little bit depressing, but now he's Sherman's getting healthy again. He's starting to run. It's starting to get a little bit more interesting, if you know what I mean. Now he's talking about the Amish. The Amish are like a Jewish community. They live in America. I think is it Philadelphia, I think. They're kind of like separate from the outside world. And a lot of people think, oh, the Amish are backward and dreadful and stuff like that. But I actually disagree, I think some of the old school values are actually good. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying all of them are, but now this guy is talking about how wealth and stuff is actually bad. And I actually agree with that. I think, living in this kind of room that I live in is good, I work at McDonald's, I'm renting this room, so it can't be that fancy, can it now? And personally I just hated, growing up in this luxury world that my parents lived in. They seemed very entitled and a bit narcissistic, and I wasn't a fan of that. But what could I do? Like I couldn't just, when I was a 10-year-old, I couldn't just move out and go somewhere else, could I now? That doesn't happen, okay? Unless I wanted to be homeless. But now, I'm working at McDonald's, I'm making a salary, now I can move out. Now I can live my life more simply, more minimally, and it's a lot better. I'm reading more, I'm doing more, I'm more productive, more active, stuff like that, and I definitely think it helps to make you a better person. Okay, so here they talk about some of the distractions in life. Raising his children rich wasn't fair to them, Sam explained. Yeah, look, that's what happened to me. I feel like it wasn't fair that my parents raised me rich, but what choice did I have? What choice did I have? I couldn't do anything about it. Now, I was disgusted by it. I hated the lack of community, the wealth, the obsession with materialism. But and I know friends growing up on my road are so unfriendly. No one ever talked to each other, and you hear of guys who grew up in more down to earth areas who had friends in the area. They spoke to friends. They had fun and stuff like that. They went out and played football, went to the skate park. I didn't have that opportunity. Okay. Now let's see. Sam's uncle knew that happiness, health, and security come from devoting yourself to two things: your family and your friends. And anything that doesn't bring you closer to both is pulling you in the wrong direction. Distance and envy are two poisons that can destroy any community. And that's why the Amish have a problem with cars, fashion, and even electricity. Okay? Now, I'll admit I have electricity. I have to recharge my phone. Sometimes I recharge my Garmin watch. I turn on the lights sometimes. So, I could use a candle, I guess. You know. They let you travel too far. Cars, that's what they do. Yeah, I agree with that. I really don't agree with all this traveling abroad and stuff. Like, I feel like if you're born in a country, you should stay in that country, not be like. People are so entitled and they're so brainwashed. They think, oh, if I'm from Ireland, I should be able to go to some faraway country and be treated like one of the locals. No, like it's against you're going against human nature. You're gonna run into problems. You're gonna run into issues. You get all these foreigners come to Ireland, and I feel like they're better off just staying in their own country because you do get racist people. And I'm not racist. I don't go around discriminating against black people. I've got better things to do in my time, but still, it's something that just happens. Do you know what I mean? So, like I'm from Ireland. Now, I don't think you have to. I'm not too extreme about this. I don't think you have to stay in the county you're born after the rest of your life. If you know what I mean. So, I'm from Dublin. If I were to move to say Wexford or even Galway, I don't think that's a problem. But if I'm moving to the UK, even I think that's a bit of an issue. Okay, I feel like you're better off staying in your own native land, and too many people they travel away. Where I grew up, in wealthy areas, people, it's a private school. People, what do they do in the summertime? They go abroad somewhere for months on end, and it's like, oh, he's gone, he's not around. That's one less friend to have. during the summertime. So that's one issue I have with it. Um, that's cars, airplanes, stuff like that. They let you travel too far, show off too much. Is that fashion? Yeah, like that's stupid. Like, why would you want to show off? Show off, stupid. Um, it's a sense of they want to feel like they're superior to others or something stupid like that. I really have a big problem with that. You know, and start screens instead of faces. Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I'm doing right now. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to get my message across to other people. So um, it's not as bad as people think it is. So Sam's uncle loved his craft, but he loved his community even more. And when he felt himself being drawn back by constant praise, easy work, and fat paychecks, he had to make a change. Yeah, so people are just egotistical these days, and that's one thing I hate. Like my dad was so egotistical. Whenever I won a race as a runner, and got medals, my dad would be showing them off to people, and I'd be like, "Here, we have fuck off, fuck off. Why do you care? Do you think they care that I ran some race? Like, yeah, for me it means a lot, but to other people, did they care? I don't think so. I was a lot more down to earth than my dad, which is something I'm happy about. Okay, people love constant praise. They love to be treated well, because they're narcissistic, and they want their ego stroked. They want the ego stroked, and that's not something I'm a fan of. Okay, and fat paychecks. Oh yeah, so you can spend all this money and stuff. I think I need to move out of this area, to be honest. I think it's too expensive. Eventually I think I just feel comfortable in my job at the moment, but I think eventually I'll probably move somewhere else. I probably will leave Dublin. I might move to somewhere like, say, Wexford or Athlone or Dundalk. Again, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it's a problem to move an hour's drive or even a 2 hour drive away from you live, but I won't be going to mainland Europe or China or Africa or anywhere like that. Do you know what I mean? So um he had to make a change. Yeah, and he said that a lot of the people, they're actually quite lenient and tolerant in these Amish communities. They allow people to go out and try to enjoy the outside world, they say. Because, they say, like, vast majority of the time people go out into the outside world and they learn that it's not so great after all, and they just come straight back to the Amish community. So yeah, I think, like, when I go around, if people have mental health issues and I go around, I give them advice to try to help them. They'd be like, "You're an idiot. What? Too much wealth is destroying society. What? You say that I should get rid of my car and cycle my bike, walk like a peasant. You're saying I should move to a more working class area where there's a better sense of community. You're saying I should not chase success and not chase all those promotions and stuff like that. You're saying I should spend time with friends. Friends. Why would I have friends? I live in D4. People in D4 don't have friends. That's what they're like, and I think we're just brainwashed, to be honest.